You wake up in the morning feeling completely fine. Your stomach is flat, your clothes fit perfectly, and you feel light. But by the middle of the afternoon, something has changed. Your pants feel tighter. Your belly looks swollen, almost like you swallowed a balloon. You feel uncomfortable, maybe even a little embarrassed to stand up in a meeting or go out with friends. If this sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. Bloating and excess gas are some of the most common digestive complaints in the world, yet almost nobody talks about them openly. Here's the thing most people miss. Bloating isn't random. It comes from 4 specific root causes, and once you understand them, you can finally take control. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what's happening inside your body and what you can do about it, starting today. Before we get into solutions, let's talk about what gas actually is, because understanding the mechanism makes everything else click into place. Gas in your intestines is completely natural. It's a byproduct of digestion. When food reaches your gut, trillions of bacteria living there get to work breaking it down, and during that process, they release gases. This happens to everyone, every single day. A healthy person passes gas anywhere from 10 to 20 times a day, and that's perfectly normal. So what kinds of gases are we talking about? About 99% of intestinal gas is made up of 4 compounds: carbon dioxide, hydrogen, methane, and nitrogen. Here's the interesting part. None of those have a smell. They're completely odorless. The other 1%? That's sulfur. And sulfur is the troublemaker responsible for that unpleasant odor we all dread. Now here's the key principle to remember. When food, especially protein, doesn't get digested properly before it reaches your colon, bacteria ferment it, and that's when gas production goes through the roof. Let's start with the biggest hidden cause of bloating that almost nobody talks about: poor protein digestion. Here's what's happening. When you eat meat, eggs, fish, or any animal protein, your stomach is supposed to break it down using stomach acid and digestive enzymes. If that process works well, the protein arrives in your intestines already partially broken down, ready to be absorbed. But when digestion is incomplete, large pieces of undigested protein make it to your colon. The bacteria there go wild fermenting it, and they produce a lot of sulfur compounds in the process. That's where foul-smelling gas comes from. If your gas has been particularly unpleasant lately, undigested protein is very often the culprit. Now here's something most people have no idea about. After the age of 30 to 35, your body naturally starts producing less stomach acid. This decline continues as you get older, and it directly affects your ability to digest protein efficiently. Here's the part that surprises most people. The majority of digestive issues come from too little stomach acid, not too much. We've been told for decades that acid is the enemy, but the opposite is often true. If you suspect this is you, betaine hydrochloride is a supplement worth looking into. Taken with protein-heavy meals, it helps acidify the stomach the way nature intended. Digestive enzymes can also support the process, and don't underestimate something as simple as chewing thoroughly. The more work your mouth does, the less work your stomach has to do. The second root cause is a damaged gut microbiome. This one affects more people than you'd ever guess. Inside your intestines lives an entire ecosystem of bacteria, trillions of them. We call this the microbiome, and when it's balanced, these bacteria help you digest food, regulate gas production, support your immune system, and even influence your mood. When that balance gets thrown off, bloating is one of the first warning signs. So what damages the microbiome? 2 things mainly. The first is antibiotics. Antibiotics are sometimes necessary, but they don't discriminate. They wipe out harmful bacteria and beneficial bacteria at the same time. After a single course of antibiotics, your gut can take weeks or even months to recover. This is why so many people start experiencing bloating, irregular digestion, or new food sensitivities after a sinus infection or a dental procedure, and they never connect the two. The second is acid-blocking medications, things like omeprazole, pantoprazole, and over-the-counter antacids. These reduce stomach acid, which sounds helpful, but remember what we just talked about. Stomach acid is your first line of defense. When you suppress it long-term, the wrong bacteria start to flourish in your gut, and bloating gets worse, not better. So what's the fix? After any antibiotic course, take a quality probiotic with strains like Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium. Add fermented foods to your routine. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi are all excellent natural sources. And if you've been on acid blockers long-term, talk to your doctor about whether you can taper off safely. Rebalancing the gut takes time. Be patient with the process. Now, before we move on, I want to pause for a second because I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't have weeks or months to wait for my gut to rebalance. I want to feel lighter today. And honestly, I get it. Probiotics are expensive, restrictive diets are exhausting, medications come with side effects, so if you're looking for something faster, simpler, and backed by thousands of years of human use, there's something you absolutely need to see. Recently, a strange 8,000-year-old underwater gut superfood has been getting massive attention from people struggling with chronic bloating and sluggish digestion. With just one pinch added to your routine, it's been shown to help the body release up to 10 pounds of toxic buildup trapped in the intestines, restart proper digestion, and empty the bowels up to 2 times faster, even if you eat zero fiber. It sounds completely backwards, I know. But it's real, it's been used by over 3 billion people, and the results people are reporting are honestly hard to believe. If you want to see how it works, just point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen right now. It'll take you straight to a short presentation that explains everything. I've also pinned a link in the comments below so you can tap it from there if that's easier for you. Go check it out. I promise it's worth your time. Then come right back here because we still have 3 more powerful root causes to cover, and the rest of this action plan could change how you feel every single day. The third root cause is trigger foods, and this one is highly personal. Here's the truth. There is no universal list of bad foods. What gives one person terrible bloating might cause 0 issues for someone else. Your body is unique, and your gut bacteria are unique to you. That said, there are some common offenders worth knowing about. Dairy is at the top of the list. A huge portion of the adult population has some level of lactose intolerance, often without realizing it. If milk, cheese, or ice cream consistently leaves you bloated, lactose is likely the issue. Excess sugar and refined carbs are next. They feed the wrong types of bacteria in your gut, leading to fermentation and gas. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, are notorious for producing gas. They're incredibly healthy, but they contain compounds that are tough to digest. Legumes like beans, lentils, and chickpeas are another classic trigger. So are certain starchy foods like potatoes. 2 modern culprits worth adding to your radar: sugar alcohols, which you'll find in sugar-free gum and diet products, and carbonated beverages, which literally pump gas into your stomach. So how do you figure out your personal triggers? Keep a simple food and symptom journal for 2 to 3 weeks. Write down what you eat and how you feel 2 to 3 hours later. Patterns will emerge faster than you'd expect. One important note: don't eliminate healthy foods just because they cause some gas. The goal is awareness and balance, not cutting nutritious vegetables from your life. Sometimes smaller portions or better preparation methods solve the problem entirely. The fourth root cause is the one most people completely overlook: stress and your eating habits. And honestly, this might be the most underestimated factor of all. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. There's an entire highway of nerves connecting them, and that's why you get butterflies before a big presentation or feel sick to your stomach when you're worried. Stress directly affects digestion. Let's break this down into 2 parts. The first is how you eat. When you're rushing through meals, eating at your desk, scrolling on your phone, or talking nonstop, you swallow a lot of air. That air has to go somewhere, and it shows up as belching or trapped gas in your stomach. People who eat fast and anxiously are almost always more bloated. The second is chronic stress itself. When you're constantly stressed, your nervous system stays in fight or flight mode. Digestion slows down, gut motility changes, and food sits in your system longer than it should. This is closely tied to a condition called irritable bowel syndrome, where bloating gets dramatically worse as the day goes on. So what helps? Slow down at meals. Aim for at least 20 minutes per meal. Put your fork down between bites. Take a few deep breaths before you start eating to shift your body into a relaxed state. And move your body daily. Even a 20-minute walk after dinner can dramatically reduce bloating, lower stress hormones, and get your digestion flowing the way it's supposed to. Now, before we wrap up the action plan, there's something important I need to address. Most bloating comes from the 4 causes we just covered: diet, gut health, digestion, and stress, but not all of it. Sometimes bloating is your body waving a red flag, and you need to take it seriously. Pay attention if you experience any of these warning signs: a sudden onset of severe bloating that wasn't there before, unexplained weight loss, blood in your stool, persistent abdominal pain, or major changes in your bowel habits that last more than a few weeks. If any of those apply to you, please see a doctor. There are excellent diagnostic tools available: colonoscopy, endoscopy, abdominal ultrasound, and breath tests for bacterial overgrowth that can quickly identify whether something more serious is going on. I'm not saying this to scare you. The vast majority of bloating is dietary or behavioral, but ruling out serious causes gives you peace of mind, and that alone is worth the visit. Before we get to the action plan, here's a bonus tip that addresses something people are often too embarrassed to ask about: the smell. Let's be honest, foul-smelling gas is socially awkward, and it can really affect your confidence. The good news is there are direct ways to reduce odor. Bismuth-containing supplements are well known for binding to sulfur compounds and significantly cutting down on smell. They're available over the counter and can be a real lifesaver in social situations. But remember, the long-term solution comes back to protein digestion. Less undigested protein means less sulfur, which means less odor. Staying hydrated and balancing your fiber intake also make a noticeable difference. All right, let's pull everything together into a clear action plan you can start using today. Step 1. Pay attention to your personal trigger foods. Start that food journal and identify what's actually causing your symptoms instead of guessing. Step 2. If you're over 30 or 35, support your protein digestion. Betaine hydrochloride with protein-heavy meals can be a game changer. Step 3. Anytime you finish a course of antibiotics, replenish your gut with a quality probiotic and add fermented foods to your routine. Step 4. If you've been relying on acid-blocking medications, have a conversation with your doctor about whether you can reduce or stop them safely. Step 5. Slow down at meals. Breathe before you eat, chew thoroughly, and put your phone away. Step 6. Move your body every single day. Walking, stretching, exercise, whatever you enjoy. Stress is a digestion killer. Step 7. If symptoms persist or worsen, see a doctor and rule out anything serious. Bloating doesn't have to be your daily reality. Small, consistent changes add up faster than you'd think. That's everything you need to know to start getting rid of gas and bloating for good. If this video helped you, hit the like button and drop a comment below sharing what's worked for you. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Take care of yourself, be patient with the process, and I'll see you next time.